Hello and welcome to Education Universe's video on MLA formatting. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to set up your header, how to start your paper, where to start it at, and it will be a pretty short tutorial and should take you through all the steps to be successful in setting up your own paper. Typically, MLA format is used in English courses in college. It can also be used in high schools. So let's get to work. So a lot of people have trouble figuring out how to get the header in the header, and it's really quite simple on the newer versions of Word. Even if you have an older one, you can still double click inside of the header. So let's go ahead and do that. Take your cursor up to the header section, which is about right here. Use your left mouse key and double click. You're gonna see a line that says header that tells you you're in the right spot. There's a whole lot of information up here that you don't need to worry about on MLA. It's something to worry about on MLA. So let's go ahead. We're going to insert, and you always have a page number on MLA. Top of page. So on MLA, it is on the right hand side. You're going to click plain number 3. And we're going to make this student's name Jones. You're going to type Jones and space. So you've done what you need to do in the header with one exception. So when you look at this, this says Calibri 11, and typically what instructors will ask you to do is to use an Arial font, most of the time Times New Roman. So let's go ahead and do that. Now I use Times New Roman a lot, so it is up here at the top, but these are all in alphabetical order. So if I had scrolled all the way down to the T's, I could find that and click it, or I could go up here and I could back Calibri out of here and put times and see how it pops up. And then if you just click over in the next box or tab, you're going to hit the number key, and that is usually 12. Your instructor may say otherwise. But that's typically what it is. So let me show you how to change this. Now that was how to change it in the body. Let's go ahead and select Jones 1 and go through the process one more time so that you can remember this. So there's Times New Roman, or you can type it in, or you can scroll down in alphabetical order to grab that and go ahead and hit 12. So what you've done here is format your header in the same way that you're going to format your body. Now to get out of the header, move your cursor down into the body of the paper, double click with your left mouse key, and see this how it's reset to Calibri. Anytime that you're doing a header or the body of the paper, for some reason Word decides that it is not going to reset your header at the same font. So you have to do that manually, and we did that, so that's already fixed. And now we're going to reset your whole body into the right format. So let's go ahead and choose Times New Roman, and again you can choose it from here. You can type it in or scroll down and then hit 12, because that's what we're going to do. Now the problem is that Windows or Word usually sets your font to the Calibri 11, and it also sets your spacing to 1.25 or thereabouts. So we needed to change that as well, because MLA uses double spacing. Now one thing you're going to notice over here, this is the up and down arrow key, which is the easiest way to change your spacing on a document, is that you do see the 2.0, but I want you to look at this. Remove space after paragraph. Anytime remove space after paragraph is there, it adds extra space before, well, in this case after your paragraph, which is not completely double spaced. So I want you to go ahead and remove that to start with. So that removes the extra space. Go ahead and hit the up and down arrow key again and hit 2.0. That's going to double space you. And for this exercise, we are going to name her Bella Jones. So this is the student's name, or your name in this case, that you type in. And then you're going to go to the next line, and depending on how your instructor sets this up, it could be your course name or it could be the instructor's name. But in this header, we are going to have a course name and an instructor name and a date, which is the usual format for MLA. So let's go ahead and do Chemistry 101 class. Okay, and sometimes they might ask you to add the time or the date, and that can be simply done by putting a slash in your time and date after that. So go to the next line, and let's have a professor. It might be Mr., it might be professor, it might be doctor. Make sure that you're using the correct addressment when you're talking about your instructors, to make sure that you're giving them the due respect. And you can just simply ask that or listen during class. Usually it's Mr. or Mrs. if you're in high school. In college, sometimes it's doctor, sometimes it's professor, sometimes it's Mr. or Mrs. It just depends. Okay, so the next line, just hit enter after each line, and it's going to automatically double space this for you. And we're going to go ahead and do the date. So it's the 17th when I'm doing this of November and 2016. So, uh, 2016. So you've got a space. This is very different from what you're used to seeing, and this is the MLA formatting of how to do this. So you've done well here. You've already got this information, and you're ready to start writing your paper. So you're going to hit enter once, just like you did when you did your header. And up here, this sets things on the right, the left margin. This sets things in the middle or centers them, and this goes to the left. We want to center your title. Okay, so let's go ahead, and most of the time the rule is that you have a meaningful title. And for example, if you're writing a summary on something, a particular scholarly article, you could name it Scholarly Summary, or you could name it Summary On, or you could name, if you're writing a creative piece, you could name it, Grandmother's House, whatever it is. That's what you're going to do. So let's look at Scholarly Article Summary. So let's pretend that you have named this a scholarly article summary, and that you're actually going to summarize a scholarly article that you found on line or on a database. So you've got your title here. You're going to hit enter, and notice that it's still double spacing because we removed that extra space, and that is a good thing. So let's go ahead and go back up here. You can either hit the backspace key to get all the way over to the left margin, or you can hit the left margin key up here. So let's go ahead and click that. It's going to totally take you all the way back, but remember that each paragraph is going to be indented. So let's go ahead and indent that, and let's pretend that we are starting our scholarly article summary. So your text is going to begin here with an indent on every paragraph that you do. Now, different instructors have different rules for how many sentences are in a paragraph. In my classes, they are 5, but some teach 3 to 5, 3 or more, but mine are 5 minimum. I suggest that for any kind of paragraph that's fully developed, unless there's some reason not to. So this paragraph would be, in my class, would be about 5 sentences long. So if we were typing, so in a discussion of da 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 da, right? So this is paragraph 1. And when you enter after a paragraph, so let's pretend we have a whole paragraph here, and you have written what you need to introduce your article, which typically is the introduction of the article name, the introduction of perhaps the authors of the article, and maybe even, depending on your instructor, a discussion of their qualifications as part of your full summary. So always follow your instructor's guidance on how they want things done. If you hit enter, notice that this one is not going over to indent. So let's pretend we're in paragraph 2. You would have to hit the tab button to get it over. And that would start a second paragraph. So in this tutorial, you have learned how to enter your header, which is the double clicking, and you enter your number and type your last name and a space, and then you'll double click down in the body and put your entire header. Typically this is the format of that, but it may differ from instructor to instructor. Most of the time it's going to be this though. And then your title is centered. Now there's another thing that I do want to show you very quickly, and we aren't going to go into actual citations because this is a tutorial on how to set up your paper. Let's go ahead and hit enter. And one of the things that you'll have to do on an article summary is go ahead and do a works cited page for your resources, for your references. So, and that would be on anything that you're doing where you use a source, you're going to list your source. So let's go ahead and go up to the very top where you see insert, and then you're going to see a few different things over here, and this is in different locations depending on which word that you're in, but usually it's over here. So let's hit page break. What that's going to do is if you pretend this whole first page is completely full of your summary, if you're in college, it's probably longer than one page. But let's pretend for a second that this is all full. And this is correct. See how your number has changed and your name is still here? This is the way that page 2 should look. And so on this second page, what's going to happen is you are going to want to center the word works cited. And that is the page that you're going to put your references list on. So let's go back up to the home button is the easiest, and you're going to see that button again, that centered button. Let's go ahead and hit center, works cited. And then when you hit enter, it's going to center that again. Just remember that all references start on the left-hand side of your paper. So you can either use your button to make it go to the alignment left, or you can hit the backspace, which is what I'm going to do in this case. And you're going to end up on this side of the paper. There is a tutorial on references on a different video. I hope that this has been helpful to you and that you can use this information to be successful in your courses. Thank you for listening.